recording and starting the screen share. Your entire screen. Yep, here we go. Can't share a screen. Q. Okay, let me try more. Sharing the entire screen, and here I go. Yeah, kindly please confirm if you're yes, I'm able to see my screen. It means it is visible. All right. Yes. No need of the confirmation. I already shared the screen with you. So yes, a very good morning to all of you. So today we are here to learn the most trending. So I cannot say it is number one, but we'll see the statistics. We'll see everything that are related to this particular cloud platform and why you should start learning it today, right? So I'll share some insights which will help you to explore this particular domain more. Okay, so when it comes to cloud, so there are only two names that I actually heard of, and you might be as well. So there is Microsoft Azure and there is Amazon ka AWS, right? So these are only two cloud platforms that are trending, that are used by most of the companies. There is no these two are unbeatable, right? So now, why Azure, right? So there are multiple things that I would like to share with you, and we'll of course going to see the comparison. That is what the day one, right? And we'll see how you guys can get started and create your free account, so that from tomorrow when we will move forward, right, so you guys will be able to do the practicals along with me. Okay, so we are going to do small things, like creating the machines and then storing the data, deploying some small REST application and few things, right? So I know all of you, most of you are from the background where you have done some sort of development in the in your past days, right? In your whatever you're working on, right? So basically what we are trying to do, so this particular session, that 1 month training that I have arranged, is to help the developers to gain the advantage of cloud. Okay, so we, in our training programs as well, whether it is Java, whether it is Python, whether it is Angular, React, or any sort of software development or full stack development training that we conduct, we told people that whenever you build a software, it needs to be deployed. Okay, and we recently explored this platform. We started putting some projects out there, and that is when I decided, instead of deploying the applications on free GitHub accounts or GitHub pages, or there are some free cloud platforms that are available, why not we should use something which is trending in the market, something where a lot of job openings are there, and multinational companies are looking for people who are skilled in that. Okay, and that is not it. So actually there is a couple of companies whom we connected, actually the training and placement team of Tech Amplifiers, and those companies explicitly want people who are trained in Microsoft Azure. And that is when we have decided, let's do this particular activity so that we'll have some trained candidates, and those candidates I can share with the company. So that is when this particular activity of conducting 1 month free training, so that people will get brushed up their knowledge, and then they can at least clear the AZ900 certificate. That is what the minimum requirement of the company, and that is how we are going to move forward. So the basic agenda of this particular 1 month training course is, I'll help you to clear out, or I'll help you to prepare for AZ900 certification. So we'll talk about the certification of um, Azure. So that, see, if you do the certification from the cloud itself, like, I'm not sure where is certification page, but we'll search it on internet, right? So there it must be somewhere here, training and certification. Hmm? So if you do the certification, so there is hierarchy actually. There are a lot of certificates that they are providing, and each of the certificate is not as of now. Each of the certification is having their own value in the market, right? So that is when I want all of you to at least clear AZ900. So then eventually we'll also we have plans to conduct some trainings for AZ 104, which is Azure Administrator, right? So these are the certifications. So, and it is very simple actually. A few of my students have already cracked it. So that is when I want my most of the students who are learning at Tech Amplifiers, and some people from, actually I shared it all in all my network, so that most of the people can take advantage of it, right? So let's get started. So forget about the training and certification part as of now. So we'll go and explore the learning paths that are available there. So which so there is some pre-material available over here as well on this particular platform called as Learn Azure. So I'll share the link as well. So I have prepared a doc where I'll be putting my notes, and then you guys, I'll be sharing with all the people who are registered. um, I'm not sure what is learn.microsoft official learning. So these are small videos that they have recorded explaining each of the concept that you can refer to. Hmm? So first, you need to understand a lot of things. Actually, this is not a plain simple game that we have in software development. Like we will move forward by learning one concept at a time. So this is not the way. So here there are services. Here there is a lot of things that we need to explore. But before that, all of you should have your own Microsoft account. That is when I shared a link in a group. So you can try Azure for free. So they will give you I guess 20,000 or so amount as a free 200 USD, right? I'm not sure how much it is. So that is what they will give you. You will have 30 days to use it, and in addition free services. So in 30 days you have to use this credits. So it is only for 30 days, and in those 30 days you will be able to use VMs, virtual machines, and you can use databases, then you can use app services. Now what are those? We are going to see in detail. We are also going to evaluate functions. Only one DB I'm going to take, that is Postgres actually, which is what we cover in not SQL database. We'll cover the Postgres, and we are going to cover the app service during this training and Azure functions. What exactly it is, I'll let you know going forward when we are going to. So it's actually the hands-on session, okay? So I'm not here going to bombard all the knowledge like this theoretical stuff. Like I'll just quickly show you. I have a lot of theoretical things. It's okay. So you guys can go and read, and you will not understand. Okay. So I'm not a big fan of theory. So I love doing things, and I want my students to do the same. Okay, we'll do it together, and we'll make sure that, see, when it's cloud, it is pay as you go, right? So you must have heard the model, pay as you go. So whatever services that you will use, you will get charged. Hmm? So every frequently I'll let you know, like where to check the bills, and then how to detect what services are on, and then what to do in order to stop the charges. And then even if you get charged, we can drop an email, and then we can waive off the charges. It happens only once or twice, so do not extend the limit. Okay, let it be. So there are few popular services that they are offering for free. 55 other services that, so in Microsoft Azure there are 55 services which are always free. You don't need to pay for these services because these are the add-ons, right? So you take Android OS, and with that Android OS you will get, I'm just giving a mobile phones example. Android OS is paid, and inside that Android OS, Play Store app is free. So kind of thing that they are doing. So the bigger service will have some charges, and some supplements or the complementary services will be always free. That is some model that they have implemented. It's their choice, their services, they're planning, and they're putting it in that way. Okay, let it be. So when you create account, you will get a 200 USD. So it is only for 30 days. So so do it now. So that 10 October to 10 November, right? So that is the deadline or the training period, and during which we will be utilizing your credits. Basically why? Because see, you can create multiple accounts. By the way, I do have many. Okay, so you try create account, you uh, spend that amount, and then you create a new account for trying your own stuff. Okay, for learning purpose, for implementing things over here. And I'll will have the overview of Azure portal. So that is where we are going to do all the activities, and we are going to see two things: deploying a Java application and deploying an Python application. Okay, of course, Java application means it is Spring Boot based REST application, and when it comes to Python, Django based REST application, and we'll try to hit the services. And for that, basically we are going to use the Azure App Service. So something that Azure App Service, and then functions will help us to build a few more things. just some of the so you go and read out the things that whatever you feel right, but first thing first, you need to have an account so that you guys can go and explore the service. So there are many things that are available. So like depending on the domain, if you want to work on machine learning, so there is a service. Now when I'm talking about service, it is a feature of this particular Azure which helps you to perform that particular task. Okay, so basically virtual machine is a service, one of the service, basically one of the services. So virtual machine is like you can create your own laptop or a desktop system in the cloud, and then you can access, you can decide what RAM. So I'll show you the process to do it. We'll do it together, and then we'll try to access it from my system, and we'll deploy the application on directly virtual machine. But फिर उसको in order to make it available publicly, ठीक है, we'll see. Like if it works on my laptop itself, that is also fine. Hmm? ठीक है, then like Windows machine, the way you can create Windows, so you can create Linux as well. ठीक है, so Windows will be good when you are beginner, but in terms of money or in terms of performance, Linux is always better. I personally use both for some of the deployments that I did in the past few months. ठीक है, then we are going to use Postgres as I mentioned. SQL will also work, but means we have been like, so people who learn from technology wise, they know we prefer using Postgres, a more mature database than SQL, and more free open source, and most of the IT companies uses that, and that is when I prefer that Postgres, right? Right. So in Cosmos, I'm not gonna. We are not. We. I'll give you some details, but we're not gonna implement it. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is like what all things that we'll do hands-on. Something that you, me, we are going to do it together. So that is something will be Azure Function App Service, and we'll deploy the two applications. The one application will be from Python, and one application will be from Java. Of course, front end क्या ही use करो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Use anything in the front end like Angular or React or with plain HTML CSS work. But end-to-end application that we will be deploying. So mostly, so see, as per my knowledge, see, I'm not an expert of this particular domain, which is cloud. Okay, to be very honest. So I started exploring a year back, like what exactly Azure. We deployed a couple of applications. So now I have done AZ900 certification, and I'm planning to do 104 wala. Okay. So now what is certification? We'll talk about that. So which is cloud certificates that they're providing. So you have to pay nominal charge, and then you will get certified from Azure basically, which is really in high demand. I'll show you some job openings as well. So those who are looking for jobs, and those who are experienced, I can see people have joined who are already working. So having Azure certification will help you to switch the company with a really good package, get increment in an existing company with really high package. So these uh, advantages that you'll get at the end of this 1 month training. But before that, let me just clarify. So it is only possible if you stay till the end of the training. That is for next 1 month. Okay. So till November 10, 10 December, sorry, 10 October to 10 November is a day. You must have read the group description. If not, get it done. And one more update that I wanted to make is like training will be on only Monday to Thursday, not Friday. So we started in the middle of the day because 10 I wanted to start yesterday, but somehow I made it 10 to 10. So it will be Monday to Thursday only. Friday I won't be available, and Saturday Sunday will be off basically. So this is Monday to Friday. Every morning 9 o'clock we are going to meet online. Hmm? So for people, if you miss the session, the sessions will be recorded but won't be shared during the trainings because I don't have that much time कि सबका record करके upload करते बैठे. So we are not planning to share the recordings as of now, even though the sessions are recorded. So I would recommend those who have joined attend live, get the most out of from this training, which will help you to eventually become good at this particular cloud platform, basically, right? So with this, let's just jump back to the comparison, like why we should learn Azure. Hmm? So why Azure is something which will help you to understand. So I already shared the official website, so that you can refer to. So cloud will tell you, or internet will tell you 10 reasons why you should choose Azure. So I'll tell you the major reason according to my experience, okay? Or and not AWS. So which will give me the correct comparison. Azure is more costly. These guys are absolutely right. So I personally, when I started my career in 2017, right? The first certification I did in cloud was AWS. Hmm? Because a lot of startup companies were working in this particular platform, and I usually used to work with small companies, mid-sized companies, and all of those companies were preferring uh, AWS because it was having less cost. It was cheaper as compared to the Azure, basically. But now, since we are growing, right? So team tech amplifiers, and we are having another organization as well. So we are growing, and now we have clients from big companies. Okay, we are building some projects for companies who are multinational companies, and all the multinational companies, they're preferring Microsoft Azure because they're already having the Microsoft Azure ka ecosystem, the .NET framework, Windows licensed OS, and then uh, you know uh, customized laptops for their employees, and all other things they're already taking from Microsoft. And that is when most of the multinational IT companies, they prefer Microsoft Azure. So this is my personal opinion. You can go and find out, learn बहुत कुछ है internet पे, right? Go and have your own observation. But this is my observation, I'm telling you. Like now, since we are growing and we are dealing with big companies, they want us to work on Microsoft Azure. So that is when we got a project recently, and they want at least few people in my team, they're Microsoft Azure certified, and we don't have any except me, right? And that is how they will not give me the project. Basically, that is when I decided to skill up my team. They have already joined. I decided to skill up my students. They already joined. And I decided to let the people around me, the following on LinkedIn or learning from me in symbiosis, right? So whoever want to join, they will join, and they will get their skills amplified, right? That is what the mission. That is when I'm uh, started this organization, right? So we are committed to amplify your skills. Basically, that is what my team whole we are doing. Okay, so with this, I'll be able to achieve my goal. And since my whole goal is to help you to clear that AZ 900 in this 1 month training, and then eventually you guys can prepare and do for AZ 104. We'll talk about the certification once I'm done with the comparison, and then it will help you to get a really nice your career objective, whatever you are planning for, whether getting a job, whether getting a hike, or whether getting um, what a new switch the company. Both, all the objective will be satisfied if you are Azure certified. Taking certification from a local organization won't help in this particular case when you are talking about cloud. Like programming wala theek hai, but cloud is like they means whoever is the hiring team, they prefer, like, do you have Azure ka certificate? If yes, then please come in. We'll have the interview, and then, because just like I told you, right? So the big companies also get the project from some client from US. So the US people ask how many certified people you have in your team, and then if they say 10, then according to 10 certified people, they give the chota wala project. If they have 100 people who are certified with Microsoft Azure, then they gave them big projects. So that is how the whole cycle I observed personally. Means since I'm every day, every now and then I'm connecting with companies, and discussing projects, having back-to-back meetings to get the project. Basically, that is when I got to know these things, and then I thought, "Arey, having certificate from Azure is really cool, right?" So that is one of the only thing which I personally felt why Azure is important and you should learn today. If you're planning to go in multinational company, Azure is must. You take any name from IT industry who is leading the game, and then you will find they're using Azure. Hmm? Most of the times I also seen people are using Azure as well as AWS in the same team, and having some different applications, right? So that is a different case, but people do it, right? So AWS may be the ideal solution. This is, see, ये कौन बोल रहा है जो भी आपको यहाँ पे दिख रहा है? So this is been taught by Simply Learn, or this has been told by Simply Learn on 31st July. Now, why Simply Learn is pushing AWS? Uh, Basically, and why they are saying Azure is more costly is because they are providing the Azure wala, sorry, AWS wala course. Now, sometimes see, we also do this thing. जो अपन बेच रहे हैं उसको अच्छा बोलते हैं, जो नहीं है डिमांड में, या फिर we don't have that thing, we say like it's not cool, right? A lot of people do, everybody does, but again I would leave this up to you. कि आपको खुद को you have to evaluate, you have to find, you have to watch some YouTube videos and decide what to learn, and then basically you can do. And learning things will always help you. Any knowledge that you gain will be it will stay with you until you die, right? So having a knowledge of Azure along with any of the things that you're doing is always good. So anybody who joined, right, I can see 17 people there, right? Anjali Raut just left. So 17 people there, 16 now, 17, okay. So I would recommend like stay till the end. I will do really fantastic things. I'll share the code base जो भी हम लोग करेंगे. I'll share the notes. Of course, the main goal is to help you to clear the AZ900 certificate. Now let's talk about those. I'm just giving the numbers, names, and from very long time. Let's talk about Azure certification. Okay. So here is the day. So you can learn Azure certification. So here you can browse the certification, and they're having multiple certifications. Hmm? Uh, okay. So now I'm just Microsoft certified Azure administrator. Yeah, हाँ. So I got the number now. I was talking about this number here. From very long time जब भी मैं कुछ बोल रहा था, right? So I was talking about this number. उसका नाम कुछ अलग होता है, but I see I'm a technical guy. So basically, or anybody who is asking me, they are looking for these certificates. See, this is related to AI. अपने को AI नहीं चाहिए. So AZ900, like इसका नाम change कर दे शायद. There is some certification called as AZ900. There is some certification called as AZ104. So these are primarily or basic one, and I guess they have alphabetically sort किया उन्होंने actually. Difficulty level वगैरह नहीं किया. ठीक है, let it be. अपने कुछ काम नहीं है उससे. ठीक है. So what I would help you with, like DP मेरे को नहीं पता क्या, database administrator. ठीक है. So there are multiple exams that you can take from. So we are AZ104, 204 is something again developer के लिए है, so that you can try it out, and 304 is for DevOps. So these are a couple of exams that we are planning to target as our need, but किधर है 304? ये 300 है शायद. DevOps वाला, DevOps नहीं है, sorry, 400. I was wrong. So AZ is like Azure 400. So that is what their naming convention. These are the certificates. Only that much. कितने? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Choice 24 certification. Okay. Somebody type something in the chat. Let me just quickly take a look. Can't see. Hey, screen दिसत नहीं है. We can see the recording of the training. Can we see? Not as of now. Okay. Can't do this. How to create free Azure account, please? One more time. We have not created Smita. So are you able to see the screen? Okay, ये बहुत पहले वाला message था. So I hope you are able to see the screen because I'm seeing this hide button. So recordings are available, but that will be released a few days later because I don't have anybody, you know, uploading and doing that stuff. I'm quite occupied currently. So we'll definitely arrange some recordings. Okay, so you will be a week behind us, but you will be if you watch it, you will be able to do it. Yesterday itself, I told you why should you attend a live one. But fine, if you want to prefer recording, we are see the session is getting recorded, so you will get the recordings. But I would recommend you to attend live because नहीं होता मैं I personally did it. So when you see the recording, you pause the button and then you go away and then you don't come back after 2 years as well. Okay, I have seen this thing. So attending live is like really good. So those who, if possible, attend live. If not, will share the recording, but not immediately. उसको थोड़ा सा time लगेगा. We need to process and then upload and then need to make sure the links are available to all of you. Okay, that is that recording is planned just for the practicing purpose. Nothing related to anybody can watch only recordings and वैसे कुछ होता नहीं है. See, I'll tell you from my experience. I personally did a lot of courses related to business development, related to digital marketing, related to अभी cloud का भी किया था last year, right? So when you take a recorded course, you don't complete that course. That is what my personal opinion. Now everybody has their own opinion. That is perfectly fine. So basically, so what I'm trying to tell you over here in this particular training from today to next 1 month, I'm going to help you to clear this AZ900 वाला certification. ठीक है? So make quickly, I'll just there are some filters that they have applied. Is this AI 900 or AZ900? वो देखने मेरे को. Okay, जैसे मैंने Azure हटाया, so it is coming 140. ये नहीं चाहिए. यहाँ पे Azure चाहिए. Azure tag. ठीक है, it is here, sorry. The filters are here, you can take from these filters. This is Azure wala. mm, Windows, Office, Microsoft Teams. So let me just do it role based only, because I am more interested into the roles that you will get. ओके, अजूर पे करने के बाद रोल आता है, ठीक है. हाँ, सो अजूर का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर वाला वी 140 कैसा है यार अजूर सॉल्यूशन आर्किटेक्ट के लिए. ठीक है, लेट इट बी. So you go and put check all the boxes and then get everything that they are having. ये defender का नीचे. ठीक है, let me just quickly come back from the pages that we removed the. I'll share the link so that you guys can also refer to that. तो उसमें filters वगैरह लगा के रखे थे already मैंने, और automatically आए थे basically, so that you guys can refer like which one you should choose. But basically this particular training is meant for clearing out the AZ900 test. That's it. Okay, now what is the process to give the test? Book the slot, pay the fees. I don't know what are the fees. AZ900 बहुत सस्ता है, but उसके बाद वाले थोड़े से costly है. You pay the fees and then you will get ये वाला था क्या, 8 result, 24 result. This one was I was looking for. ठीक है, सो यहाँ पे अजूर पूरा टिक्ड है, देन उसके बाद बस सिर्फ अजूर ठीक है, एसक्यूएल सर्वर इज टिक्ड. ठीक है, एंड देन विंडोज सर्वर. ठीक है, based on your choice you can also filter out if you are a student, you can filter out and then you can find 900 is the exam. हाँ, sorry, I was talking about AZ 900 पर क्या. So when I was talking about Azure, so I was talking about AZ 900 वाला certification. This is AI 900, so this is related to artificial intelligence. Anybody working in AI should do that. Anybody working in security, like ethical hacking, also security related certificate. Anybody working on data analytics, data science or something, or database related stuff, database administrator, they should go and do it. So this is fundamental certificate, so required for AZ 104. That's the next step I'm planning. So that is what AZ 900 certificate I was planning to trying to talk about. Okay, now what comes into this? So let me just quickly share the link first, and then so that you guys can utilize this. Link for all Azure certifications for developers. Okay, I'm just quickly sharing it over here so that So this particular document will be shared with all the registered candidates. यहाँ पे share करके view only mode में you will guys get. ठीक है. So let's talk about that. किधर गए थे अपन? AZ 900 पे गए थे ना? Let me just filter out again. So यहाँ पे I did a student. So for your role accordingly you can choose आपका क्या role है, and then you can proceed. ठीक है. This is something we are planning to get it done. So certification details, it is MCQ वाला test. ठीक है. Really simple. ठीक है, but I'll not diminish the power of Microsoft, but this one is basic. That is when it is simple. Okay. For recent changes, there you don't need to worry about that. I'm going to cover everything. So AZ900 cloud concept क्या होता है, Azure architecture and services, all the services. This is what we are talking about in few minutes. All the Azure services, Azure management and governance. How to manage the Azure console for the portal.azure. Once you create your Azure account today, tomorrow we'll directly talk about how to use the services, what to do in that, and then there are multiple things. 2 ways to prepare. Okay, self-paced, you can learn from your own. They have given the lot of details. So you guys go and certification exam is over here. Select the schedule, right? So you have, the cost is 306, whatever it is. So it is available in English. Is it 900 certification? You can do it from. There are two options. You can for students or instructor and take a free. You can also take free practice assessment once we are done with the training, and then once ये भी रखता है यार, people will forget. Login करने को बोलते हैं, कौन करेगा ऐसे? ठीक है. So this is the test that I'm going to help you to clear. You will get certificate from Azure. A very simple, very basic thing, but a very important again. So it will add some value to your profile. But see, I'm going to teach you how to clear this test. But in order to clear this test, you need to go and register there are two vendors that Azure is tied up with. You can go with Vue. So it is for Python as well. A couple of people who did Python wala. So Python ka global level ka certification can be done with these people as well, and this is certificate. You can just go and uh, click and register yourself, hmm? And you can book the slot. Again, you need authentication. I am not going to put today. Okay, so basically you can go and book your schedule. It will be proctored test. You can give it from your home. Sometimes they ask you to come to the centers. Okay, there are some centers in Pune where you're supposed to go and give the assessment, and then once you clear, you will get the certification. If you fail into that certification, like if you paid 300, you went there, you gave this exam, and then you failed, then you need to pay some nominal fees. I'm not sure how much, and then you can reattempt the certification. So that is what it is available. Okay. Now let's go and talk about some basic services that are available over there. So I have not proceeded with the steps to get installed. So let me just uh, start for free. Okay, so you this particular previous link was already shared into the group, so this is what you are supposed to do. So you'll come to this particular portal. You can sign up with GitHub as well if you have a GitHub account. If not, you can choose this option, create one. Click on this, and here you need to put your email ID, so which I already put. I have my credentials over here. So signup.live.com. So this is something they're asking you to register. You can choose your mobile number as well if you want to get a new email address. Like suppose if you do not want to use your existing email, you can create a new email ID, but it will be again with Microsoft Outlook or ठीक है. Now they are recommending you to have at least Outlook वाला email ताकि वो ठीक से हो जाए, या फिर use your company email. hmm? So use your email ID is okay. So I'm going to use my personal one. ठीक है. So you can go ahead and you can set the password and proceed, and then there will be captcha जिसमें आपके 10-15 मिनट जाएंगे. They ask you to select the images. Okay, the person is sitting on which particular corner of the image. बहुत टाइम पास है, 5 मिनट गए मेरे उसमें. So I did it some time back. So you will just go and create the account this particular way. You need to put email. You can use your Gmail account. If not, if they don't allow, I don't generally don't use my Gmail one. But if you don't allow, you can use your college email, or the company email wherever you're working. So try first with Gmail. If doesn't work, then you need to use your company account or your college email ID. Okay, so this way you can create your account, and once you created your account, you will see the Azure portal. So which is portal.azure.com, portal.azure.com. This is the page. Okay, it is asking me to log in. I don't have the credentials in the system as of now. Okay, so it will going to redirect onto that page. Now once you're in the, so till this everything clear. So what we are going to do, this is the agenda that I set in first 30 minutes today. Any questions till now? Any doubts? Any queries? Okay, I don't see any into the chat, neither. No, perfect, Prathamesh. Thanks for updating, guys. Yes, this is good habit, Sonali. That way she did. So everybody should respond. So when you are responding, I'll feel that you are connected with me, because I don't know what you guys are doing at your home, right? Whether you're sleeping, whether you're watching television, and this session is going parallelly. If you're sitting home, somebody is talking with you, and then you're attending session parallelly. I'm not sure. No, perfect. So they don't have, nobody's having any questions till now. So a very basic stuff I organized. Let me just recap a few things. Like we are going to prepare for AZ900. I'll make sure that you have all the Azure card details for sign up. Yes, yes, it does. It does. Yes, it does. So next page when you go and proceed, so it will ask you for the credit card. 2 rupees will get deducted, and then it will get credited again. Azure will not charge until you want. Okay, किधर गया रे वो page? एक मिनट. I personally used it, so it is really fantastic. Like Microsoft, sorry, phone. AWS charges you once you explore or exhaust all your limit. So let me just quickly show you. The $200 limit, that once you exhausted this limit, Azure will stop all your services and it will not charge you further. Hmm? ठीक है. So basically you are totally safe with this कि 200 खत्म हो गया आपका $200, then your all services will be automatically stopped. खत्म. You will not be able to do it. You won't be charged unless you move to the pay as you. Yes, correct, Sonali, absolutely right. So now we are starting for free, and then you are supposed to create a free account and then get those credits. $200 is enough for 1 month, and then we are whatever we are going to do are the basic services. And I'll also share the instructions, like once we deploy something, once we create database, we will also stop the VMs. Once we create the virtual machines, we'll stop it at the end of the session, so that it will not charge you basically, and then the credits will be available to perform our next practicals. Okay, so everything we'll consider. If the credits are exhausted, as I mentioned, you go and create a new account. Okay, I created multiple, तो करते हैं वैसे. ठीक है, डोंट यूज अ मोबाइल नंबर एक ही होता है, तो फिर उस पर नहीं होगा. बट इफ यू हैव ईमेल आईडीज, यू कैन क्रिएट मल्टीपल एंड देन यू कैन यूज दैट वन. ठीक है. सो विद दिस लेट्स जस्ट गेट बैक कि क्या क्या करेंगे इसमें. सो देयर आर 3 कोर सर्विसेज ऑफ अजर. वर्चुअल मशीन्स, वर्चुअल नेटवर्किंग, लाइक नेटवर्किंग में लोड बैलेंसर आएगा, देन वर्चुअल VPC आएगा, वर्चुअल प्राइवेट क्लाउड. देयर आर मल्टीपल थिंग्स दैट विल कम. विल टॉक अबाउट दैट. एवरीथिंग इज मेंशन्ड इन डिटेल. Then we have storage. Storage is where we can store the data. Now let me just tell you from a programmer perspective, what is the use of these are the 3 main pillars or 3 main categories. फिर उसके अंदर there are multiple, like 1,000+ services are available. I personally have not used many. I guess 10 or 15 services I used till now, but that is enough for clearing AZN 900 and even 104 as well. Both are covered into that particular thing. Okay. Virtual machines is like your laptops. Like you have RAM, you have CPU, you have processing power, you have storage capacity, and you can deploy something, and you can by logging into the remote machine. Remote is like something on the cloud. Other machine not able to hear, sir. You. I have very good internet connection, and can you please help me, the people who are joined? Am I audible? मतलब, I do have a really good internet connection. But yeah, all fine, perfect. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Okay, so what I was talking about is like virtual machine, like your system, and you yourself have to deploy, right? You can create folders, you can put your war file over there, jar files, whatever you create with Spring, and then Python wala Django wala file, you can put the bundle as a zip, and then you can you can deploy it over there, or you can access the data simply something similar to exactly your laptop. Now, if something is stored in your system and you want to access it outside the network, outside that system, then you need to work on some networking part, like adding the firewall, allowing the IP address who can access my system, blocking the IP address. Then there are multiple things, that load balancing, like if multiple request comes, then how we can distribute the load among different machines. That everything happens at networking level. And at storage level, you can store your database comes into the storage level again. Like anything you want to store, like databases, files, you can store. You can if you build messaging related stuff, like what WhatsApp and all other things, they are using some storage services from, I'm not sure whether it is AWS or Azure, but they're using your message are getting stored somewhere into the cloud and then getting sent to the WhatsApp or server. So that is something people are preferring the storage services. Apart from these 3, there is nothing. Now, of course, there are a few things which fall under, it is like the primary colors of like RGB, red, blue, and green. Now, by making the combination of 2, you can create few more colors, right? Red and green becomes, I don't know, violet or something, right? So like this, by adding the extra dependencies or extra microservices, these are the major ones. So by adding few more services of these particular main services, you can create some additional things which are suitable for um, machine learning applications, which are suitable for IoT applications, which are suitable for game development applications. Some services which can be used for augmented reality, virtual reality kind of stuff. So any technology that is out there in the market right now, blockchain, a lot of things. Web development, app services basically used for deploying the web application or full stack application. So these are built on the combinations of these 3. ठीक है. Now let's talk about the services used. See, all the other services are built on top of using the combinations of these services. ठीक है. So services built using virtual machines. See, I have made a category so that you guys will not get. So Azure Batch is there, Azure Machines, Scaleset is there, Azure Kubernetes. This is only for deployment purpose. Kubernetes is spelling इसका गलत हो गया शायद. हाँ, Kubernetes, right? Right, AKS. This is a very widely used deployment mechanism, AKS mechanism. So where there are less chances of failure. ठीक है. So we'll not go in depth. So ये DevOps में आता है पूरा का पूरा. अपन नहीं जाएंगे इसमें. So see, development is a different part, and deployment and all of the things is a different thing. There is a separate team of people who are working on the development. Sorry, DevOps. ठीक है. Server Fabric, I personally don't know, but these are the services built using virtual machines. Then there are app services, completely different from virtual machines. What app services can do? It can help us to deploy web apps or containerize the web apps that whatever you built. Easily integrates with VS Code. We are going to use VS Code for your information for deploying the everything. So like VS Code is having some plugins. See, this is a developer wala role na. So I'm going to make you Azure developer, right? Basically उस related चल रहा है ये सब कुछ. So what we'll do, we are going to use my VS Code, which will help you to deploy your code within few clicks. इसके लिए कुछ plugins है, everything we are going to add, install and get it done. ठीक है. So this app service can be easily, app services mainly I'm going to use for Java related application, for Spring Boot, sorry, for Python related applications we are going to use the virtual machines directly. ठीक है. So they are fully managed, no remote access, like internally everything will be managed. यहाँ पे आपको you, the way I can access virtual machines by remotely login, like so if you, I'm not sure whether you use this. Remote login is like this. You can access any machine by any Windows machine, to be very specific, by using remote desktop connection. You put the IP address, you connect, and you put the password, and you will be able to access the remote machine at some other location. So there is something we are going to use for accessing the remote machines, but if it is virtual machine, okay. In and it is, if it is a Windows virtual machine. If it is Linux virtual machine, then you need to use SSH or PuTTY software to get the access. I'm going to show you with Windows. ताकि आपको दिखने को अच्छा लगे, मजा आना चाहिए, लगने अरे कुछ तो किया आज, है ना. So that is when we are going to use Windows. मैं personally in the training phase I generally use Windows. In the deployment phase actually जब when I do deploy it on Linux because cost effective है, performance better है, security को कुछ tension ही नहीं है. ठीक है. So see, there are multiple things, so I'll show you both actually if time permits. If not, then we will see the next thing. Okay, then we have storage services, where you can store up to 5 petabytes data. 5 petabytes means is like a huge. 1000 GB is equal to 1 TB. 1000 TB is equal to 1 PB, and then it is 5 PB. Like, I'm not sure. You guys go and calculate. So Azure storage is really it will charge on how much you store. It is not if you, so this is like you store 1 GB data, it will charge you 100 rupees. If you store 2 GB data, I'm just giving example. It is not like 100 rupees only. It is like point some 0.05 dollars or something. Okay. So a very nominal charge they take per GB of storage, and then you can store up to 5 PB petabytes. So which is really huge. Like I cannot imagine, like I do have two external hard disks. One is of 2 TB, one is of 1 TB. That 3 TB is huge. Like I have not able to fill up that up till today. So PB is like 1000 GB, sorry 1000 TB. like ऐसे मेरा पास जो हार्ड डिस्क है एक्सटर्नल, राइट, 1 TB का, 1000 TB and then it will become 1 PB, वैसे 5 PB. So which is not possible for any person to buy real space or real hardware. It will be huge cost actually. 3000 में आया था 1 TB वाला. It will 1000 TB is like 3 lakhs into 5, 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs का storage ये दे रहा है up to, है ना. But again, if you store, you will get charged basically. So you can store the, if you have to store the small pieces of files, or you can use blobs, you can use queues for messaging. tables for SQL data, blobs is for storing images, videos or so, and small files. So these are the different type of data that can be stored in different formats. Hmm? It is unmanaged service. You don't need. It can be managed in the VM. Hmm? So what are managed service and unmanaged service? We'll talk about that particular thread once we move towards more services. ठीक है, data service में भी और सारी चीजें हैं. Azure database, SQL instance, SQL server on VMC. Once you have VM, you can install SQL. I'm going to show you a demonstration. We are going to install Postgres inside one of the VM, and then we are going to do the connection of application, and it will work in that particular way. Okay. So these are the data services that are available. So database में बहुत सारी है actually. MySQL, Postgres SQL is something we are going to see. MariaDB is there, Redis is there. अपने को नहीं चाहिए. We are not going to work on that. Some people prefer to have Redis or MariaDB, but I'm limiting my scope or the scope of this training to Postgres because we are really good at that, and जो अपने को अच्छा आता है वही अपने I should tell you because I have never worked on these two. I will not teach one. ठीक है. If you want to explore, you know where is the material. किधर है? किधर है? ठीक है. इसमें नहीं मिलेगा, डेटाबेस के कोर्स में मिलेगा, डेटाबेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर ये कोर्स में. ठीक है. यू गाइस गो एंड इवैल्यूएट, एक्सप्लोर. ठीक है. माइक्रो सर्विसेज आर्किटेक्चर रिसेंटली इज रियली पॉपुलर. सो इसी के लिए हमें फंक्शंस लगेगा. आई एम गोना टीच यू फंक्शन. लॉजिक एप्स का विल सी, बट वी आर गोना डेफिनेटली गोना सी फंक्शंस. लॉजिक एप्स भी देखेंगे एक बार इफ टाइम परमिट्स अगेन. So I'm going to help you by to understand at least two services from each category basically. So basically 10 up to 10 services we are planning to implement into this particular course. मेरे को 15 ही पता है, उसमें से 10 मैं आपको बताऊंगा because this simple है. 15 18 कुछ तो काउंट है, मेरे को पता. ठीक है. So there are multiple things. It is like sky is the limit. There are so many things that you can explore. API management is there. No need to have API management. We have Swagger, जिनको Spring Boot आता है. We have Swagger which will help you to manage the APIs. And in Python also, Django में we can add Swagger. I have not taught anybody in the those who are learned, but it is API management thing which will help you to कितने APIs बनाए, then what is the use of the API, post है, put है, what payload that it is expecting, and what response it will give you. That is something this API management tool does. ठीक है. So we'll see it over the next few days. Anyways, we are going to build two applications. One is in Python, one is in Spring. One is in Django, one is in Spring, and both will be the REST APIs. ठीक है. If you want to build a containerized application, we can use Kubernetes, like I mentioned earlier. So this comes into false. See, these are further क्या बोलते हैं classification. App service, Azure storage, data service, and microservices. These are further classification built on that. In networking categories, we have connectivity, security, delivery, monitoring. ठीक है. So now networking is like a second thread. इसका देखो वर्चुअल नेटवर्किंग, अभी वर्चुअल मशीन का खत्म हो गया, अभी नेटवर्किंग चालू कर दिया. ठीक है. सो किधर गया, एक मिनट. अभी यहाँ से नेटवर्किंग चालू किया. ठीक है. So networking, like there it is like connectivity, like I need to connect to other machines. Security, like who can connect. Delivery, like somebody if access the data they should be able to get it. Monitoring, like who is getting doing what and how data is getting transferred is like monitoring. फिर इसमें अलग अलग सर्विसेज है. नेटवर्किंग में आता है कि वर्चुअल नेटवर्क, वर्चुअल वैन, एक्सप्रेस राउट फॉर फास्ट एंड विथ मोर कॉस्ट. VPN, like you must have heard कि अभी VPN कनेक्ट करने के बाद I can connect to my office network, like those who are working. We are not going to go in depth, मेरे को ही नहीं पता इतना, but we are going to see the virtual express router. So थोड़ा सा उसका. फिर peering will see how to connect multiple networks together. ये नहीं पता मेरे को क्या है. ठीक है. So networking is like something we are going to see while making the connection with my app which is deployed on cloud. Then networking में security आता है. फिर यहाँ पे हम network security group, we are going to create a group so that only my app should be accessed by me only, or people in my network or people from my team. तो उसके लिए network security group we can create. Private link भी create कर सकते हैं, only one people with link can access. Denial of services वाला attack का protection कर सकते हैं. Firewall we can create. Web application, see, Azure firewall is a top level firewall. Web application के लिए another firewall we can create. 2 level of security can be created. Virtual private endpoints. So these are some services that are available inside a networking category, और networking में security category में ये सारे services available. Networking में फिर delivery है, like I have whole system ready, up and ready. Now let's see if people are able to access my data. और एप्लीकेशन, जैसे कि अमेजोन का अभी ग्रेट इंडियन सेल चल रहा है, राइट? सो lakhs of people are continuously accessing, so their delivery system should be enough to support those requests. ठीक है, तो CDN होता है कंटेंट डिलीवरी नेटवर्क, यू नो मस्ट बी नोइंग इट. क्लाउड फ्रंट इज समथिंग which actually shares the data with the outer network. सिर्फ ट्रैफिक मैनेजर होता है, इसको लोड बैलेंसर बोलते हैं अमेजोन में, यहाँ पे है भी एक. सो AWS में इट इज कॉल्ड एज लोड बैलेंसर, सो हियर इट इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रैफिक मैनेजर, सेम ही चीज होता है. ठीक है, application gateway is like application level load balancer, and actual load balancer is transport level load manager who can transport the data. Sorry, so traffic manager will be different. If we have load balancer separate, then traffic manager like dividing the traffic between two instances. Yeah, like if the application is HA, like high availability, like multiple instance of applications are deployed, like same application deployed on multiple copies of same application, so that if 1000 requests comes, first 500 requests will go to the instance 1. Instance means copy of that application 1, and copy 2, remaining 500 requests will go to copy 2, so that all the requests will be processed successfully without delay. जैसे अपन यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट पे जाते हैं जब सब लोग लॉगिन करते हैं तो हैंग हो जाता है ना, वैसे अमेजोन का कभी नहीं होता, बिकॉज दे हैव लोड बैलेंसर एंड दे हैव स्केल अप वाला सिस्टम. स्केल अप स्केल डाउन, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इट इज, विल टॉक अबाउट दैट. So that system is available, hence it is allowing us to do that. फिर नेटवर्किंग में मॉनिटरिंग आता है कि सर सिर्फ देखना है कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, एक्सप्रेस राउट मॉनिटर कौन कहाँ पे गया, किसने डेटा भेजा, अजूर मॉनिटर, एंड ये नहीं पता टैप है ये टर्मिनल एक्सेस पॉइंट, लास्ट एंड में कौन यूजर है उसके लिए. अजूर पोस्ट और सर्विसेज कैन बी एक्सेस वाया अजूर पोर्टल. इसमें से कुछ तो बनाना है हमको, ठीक है, वी नीड इट. हाँ, राइट डाउन द स्टेप्स दैट वी नीड टू डू. और व्हाट आर द प्री रिक्विजिट्स फॉर टुमारो? फर्स्ट, you need to have your own Azure account. Second, you need to have एक तो Azure portal से access कर सकते हैं जो कि cloud से directly. PowerShell Azure, like we have something called as PowerShell. Windows X, यहाँ पे आप गए, PowerShell किधर है, मेरा ओल्ड वाला है, ठीक है, वैसे नहीं मिलेगा, ठीक है, तो विल डू विंडोज PowerShell. So we cannot use Azure we can use with command prompt as well, but PowerShell is something will help you. Windows का PowerShell will help you to install the extra packages that are required in order to access Azure with command prompt. So this PowerShell will be using, but इसमें भी Azure का PowerShell चाहिए उनको, या फिर CLI. So Azure CLI is something you are supposed to download and install. Azure CLI installation in Windows. ठीक है, if you have Linux also or Mac also, you can find out steps for your own. ठीक है, so you just go to this particular blog, I'll share with you. You download the exe, किधर मिलेगा, इंस्टॉलर मिलेगा आपको, हाँ, इंस्टॉलर विद पावरशेल, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट इंस्टॉलर विद पावरशेल नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, नॉर्मल भी चलेगा, या फिर एनीवेज लेटेस्ट रिलीज फॉर 64 बिट है मेरा, तो मैं 64 बिट डाउनलोड करके ले रहा हूँ. एंड वंस द फाइल इज डाउनलोडेड, double click and install, and you will have Azure CLI installed. So that why I need it, whether I go on PowerShell or whether I go on terminal, if I do AZ, it should show me something like AZ is recognized command. अभी नहीं recognize करा because मेरे इसमें install नहीं है. If I go on command prompt as well, if I put AZ, sorry, AZ stand for Azure, ठीक है, it should recognize कि यार AZ कुछ तो है. फिर उसके बाद AZ फिर will try to access the services, will change the subscription groups. सब्सक्रिप्शन क्या होता है ये भी मैं बताऊंगा once you have your account. ठीक है, so this AZ should be recognized command, and फिर वो options AZ space help किया तो आना चाहिए आपके पास, और AZ space version किया तो भी आना चाहिए, both the cases. ठीक है, so it is not installed in my system, so I'll share the link. You guys also go and install this thing, so that we will be able to use this direct. Sorry. I'll add it into the notes and also share the links into the group. So these are three things. एक तो portal तो browser में directly मिल जाएगा. Azure PowerShell is like you open with the PowerShell, and CLI is like you open with the command prompt. ठीक है. So this is something we want, and then we'll talk about the कौन सा service क्या करेगा वगैरह वगैरह. So there are two things prerequisite for tomorrow's session: Azure account and PowerShell. Azure CLI installed in your laptop. ठीक है. So both the things in parallel नहीं करेंगे अपन, पहले UI का access लेंगे. First few sessions, 5 days or so, we'll only play with Azure portal, and once we get familiar with all the services, फिर उन्हीं services को हम CLI क्यों लगेगा, जब मैं कोड यहाँ से पुश करूंगा तो आई नीड CLI टू गेट दैट थिंग डन, नहीं तो यहाँ पे भी मिल जाएगा एक्सटेंशन में मेरे को, बट गेट इट इंस्टॉल, इट इज बेटर। इधर है, इसको क्यों इतना बड़ा हो गया, लोगों को दिखता नहीं इसलिए बड़ा कर दिया शायद। हाँ, यहाँ पे एक्सटेंशंस, तो यहाँ पे अजूर का ऐप सर्विस मिल जाएगा एक तो, अजूर ऐप सर्विस यू विल गेट, इट विल आस्क यू फॉर द क्रेडेंशियल, देन यू कैन पुट द क्रेडेंशियल, ठीक है, ये ऐप सर्विस यूज करने वाले हैं, सो एवरीथिंग रिलेटेड टू अजूर इज देयर, अजूर CLI भी मिल जाएगा शायद यहाँ पे, अजूर CLI tools, ठीक है, so everything is available over here, so we'll also install this one, and offline is always better to have it, अगर नहीं इंस्टॉल किया करंटली तो भी चलेगा, so we have it over here, तो इसी को यूज कर लेंगे, ठीक है, इट इज डूइंग द सेम थिंग, यहाँ पे इंस्टॉल किया तो वही जो डाउनलोड हो रहा था वही इंस्टॉल करेगा बेसिकली, सो वन इन द सेम थिंग, ठीक है, so we need the access from of CLI in order to do some operations or pushing the code from my laptop to the cloud, that is when CLI required, Azure portal is required to just see कि अरे यार यहाँ पे आया है, ठीक है, it is working, it is looking my services up, my cost is this, and then this service is running and all other things, UI based application, UI based view Azure portal से आपको मिलेगा, so Azure portal पे login तभी होगा जब आपके पास Azure का account होगा, I'll also set up my credentials from my other system to this system, and I will continue learning the Azure from tomorrow, ठीक है, any questions till now, are you clear with all the services that we discussed till now, ठीक है, ये कल का है, basically we'll start it from tomorrow, फिर बहुत सारे introduction है, yes, so we have quickly have gone through की कैटेगरी क्या क्या है, इन तीनों में ही रहेगा, फिर उनके नाम है कुछ तो इनके बारे में हम लोग देखेंगे गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, ठीक है, विच सर्विस डज व्हाट एंड ऑल अदर थिंग्स वी ऑलरेडी हैव डिस्कस इन फ्री अकाउंट, इधर फ्री अकाउंट ये नहीं, सो दीज आर द सर्विसेज, उसमें से वर्चुअल मशीन हमने बात किया, डेटाबेस हमने बात किया, अजूर सर्विस ऐप सर्विस हमने बात किया, सो इट इज स्टैंड अलोन, और फंक्शंस हम वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस, API मैनेजमेंट ये ऑलवेज फ्री है, फ्री पीरियड ऑलवेज, API मैनेजमेंट फ्री है, आप API बनाओ यूज करो, ठीक है, तो इतने सारे फ्री प्रोडक्ट्स, ऐप सर्विस फ्री है क्या, रुको रुको रुको, ऐप सर्विस, अरे ऐप सर्विस फ्री है, बट फिर व्हेन आई स्टोर ना 10 एप्लीकेशन 1 GB स्टोरेज है ना, 1 GB स्टोरेज नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है, विल सी टू इट, हाँ ऐप सर्विस फ्री है तो काम हो गया, बहुत सारे डाल देंगे ठीक है, all right, this is it for today, so we'll see tomorrow, there are more interesting things we are going to learn into this AI के लिए anomaly detector भी 12 months के लिए फ्री है, ठीक है, ठीक है, देयर आर ऑलवेज फ्री, यहाँ पे फिल्टर होना चाहिए, ऑलवेज फ्री वाला बताओ, सिर्फ उतना ही यूज करेंगे हम, ठीक है, एनीवेज, all right, so let's meet tomorrow again at same time 9 o'clock, and we'll continue learning with some hands on, ठीक है, if you face challenges while getting your account created, let me know, I'll help you. Any questions now? If there are no questions, yep, so yeah, all right, thank you so much guys, see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock again, bye bye, ending the live session.
Thank you, sir.